Okay, let's dive in. Today, we're turning our focus to a market that, well, it's vibrant, sometimes complex, and definitely one many of you ask about. Real estate investment in Thailand.
Hmm.
Finding the right opportunity, anywhere takes careful navigation. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today using a specific source you brought along.
Yeah, the source we're looking at is an article. Um, it's titled "How to Find the Right Real Estate Investment Opportunity in Thailand," and it actually comes from Ocean Worldwide.
That's right. And it's really important, I think, to understand who Ocean Worldwide is. Their perspective kind of shapes the article. They're a luxury residential real estate agency.
Right.
And they've been based firmly in Phuket since, what, 2004?
Exactly, since 2004. And their focus, it's very specific. Luxury properties, mostly in Phuket and Koh Samui.
Mm.
We know their director, Sandra O'Neill. She's got years, like tons of experience in the region.
Helping families, investors.
Yeah, literally thousands over the years, helping families and property investors find their spot in that specific market.
Mm.
So the advice we're looking at, it's coming from deep familiarity with the high-end stuff, in those popular island spots.
Which gives us a particular angle, doesn't it? A specific lens on Thai real estate. So our mission for this deep dive is to really pull apart the key strategies, the insights from this article by Ocean Worldwide.
Hmm.
Hopefully helping you, the listener, understand their approach to finding opportunities, particularly in the Thai luxury market.
That was good.
Okay, let's start digging into the article itself then. It lays out what they see as 7 crucial steps, or strategies, I guess,
7 key points.
for finding the right investment opportunity in Thailand. And it feels like a specific pathway they're suggesting. Let's take the first one. Research the market. Seems obvious, maybe?
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
It's positioned as the absolute foundational step, non-negotiable. The article really emphasizes getting familiar with, current trends, property prices, popular location. The basics, yes, but it's about building that baseline understanding before you even think about looking at specific properties. And what's interesting here, coming from Ocean Worldwide, with their luxury focus in Phuket,
Right.
research probably means more than just the average price per square meter across the whole country. It likely involves understanding specific micro-markets within Phuket or Koh Samui.
Like beachfront versus hillside.
Exactly. Or villas versus condominiums, or maybe areas popular with, say, European expats versus Asian buyers.
Hmm.
It's digging deeper into understanding potential returns and the specific risks tied to that luxury segment right up front.
So it's not just know the market. It's more like know the niche market you're interested in and know it really, really well.
Precisely. Without that initial sort of segment-specific understanding, it's almost impossible to evaluate opportunities realistically, especially in a luxury niche where, expectations and what drives the market can be quite unique. It gives you the context for everything else.
Okay, that's so step 1, deep, focused research. Then, once you've kind of immersed yourself in that, the article's second step points towards seek professional advice.
Yes, and it strongly recommends engaging a reputable real estate agent or a property consultant, which raises a key question, especially if you're investing from overseas. Why lean so heavily on professionals in Thailand?
Yeah, why?
Well, professionals like, say, the team at Ocean Worldwide with their long track record in Phuket.
Huh.
They have that deep, boots-on-the-ground local knowledge, the kind you just can't get from websites alone. They understand the nuances, maybe the off-market opportunities, the specific regulations. They can connect you with the right people. It's presented as pretty essential for navigating the complexities.
Especially the legal stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
And market specifics in their areas.
Definitely. Especially that. Leveraging their expertise is key.
And I guess an agency like Ocean Worldwide, they're not just like unlocking doors for viewings, they're guiding you through the whole process, right? Based on their years in that luxury space.
That's exactly it. Their value isn't just finding listings. It's the insights specific to the luxury market in Phuket and Koh Samui. Understanding, the premium you might pay for that specific view or those finishes or certain amenities, and guiding you through what could be a pretty high-value deal.
Right, okay. Now, this next one gets really interesting, and it connects directly back to where Ocean Worldwide operates. Strategy number 3, consider location. The article highlights some popular spots.
Absolutely. Yeah, the source mentions key areas like Bangkok, Phuket, Pattaya, Chiang Mai. But importantly, it doesn't just list them off, it connects them to different investment advantages.
How so?
Well, Bangkok, for example, is highlighted for its high rental demand. Makes sense, it's a huge, bustling city.
Right.
Phuket, though, is noted more for its thriving tourism industry. That's a massive factor for rental income. especially in that luxury villa or condo market that Ocean Worldwide knows so well.
Okay, so different drivers.
Totally different drivers. So if we connect this to the bigger picture for you, the listener, your location choice really have to link up with your investment goal. Are you after, say, steady long-term rent from city professionals, or maybe higher, but perhaps more seasonal, returns from holidaymakers in a place like Phuket or Koh Samui?
Makes sense.
And the article also, sort of implicitly through the agency's focus, links Phuket and Koh Samui to the idea of settling permanently, too, which suggests a market catering to lifestyle buyers, not just pure investors. That's another angle for thinking about resale value later on.
So the reason you might choose, I don't know, a luxury villa in Phuket versus a high-rise condo in Bangkok is fundamentally different. The article pushes you to think about that alignment.
Precisely. The right location isn't universal. It totally depends on what you want the investment to actually do for you. The source really emphasizes fitting the place to your purpose.
Okay, money talk now. Strategy 4. Analyze potential returns. So you've done the research, you've got professional help lined up, maybe zeroed in on a location. How do you figure out if it makes financial sense?
Right. The article lists specific things to look at. Rental yields, capital appreciation, and occupancy rates.
Yeah.
And it stresses looking not just at today's numbers, but also the demand for rentals in that specific area and the potential for future growth.
Okay, let's break those down a bit. Rental yield.
That's pretty standard, your annual rent income as a percentage of what you paid for the place. Capital appreciation is just the property hopefully going up in value over time.
Right.
And occupancy rate, super important in tour spots like Phuket or Koh Samui, tells you how much of the year you can realistically expect someone to be renting it.
So it's where the numbers meet the location and the actual property?
Exactly. Evaluating if it's profitable means looking at all these things together. The article implies you can't just focus on one. What stands out is this focus on tangible, measurable indicators of return, moving beyond just, oh, it's a beautiful villa and grounding it in financial reality.
So you're not just buying that gorgeous view in Phuket, you're buying a potential income stream and an asset that might grow. And you need to properly crunch these specific numbers.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And in the luxury market, things like potential income from high-spending holiday renters or the factors driving appreciation for really unique properties, they become even more critical to analyze carefully.
Okay. Strategy 5 then moves into what I suspect many foreign investors find the most intimidating part. Understand legal requirements. This sounds like where things could get messy fast.
Oh, it absolutely can. And the article is very clear. Foreign investors face specific restrictions, specific regulations in Thailand. It's crucial, absolutely crucial, to understand this legal framework before you commit any money.
Like owning land, for instance.
Exactly. Thailand has specific rules about foreign ownership of land. Generally, foreigners can't own land freehold directly, but, they can own condo units freehold under certain conditions, or they might use structures like long-term leasehold, or even setting up a Thai company.
Right, I've heard about those.
Yeah. So the article, coming from a professional agency like Ocean Worldwide, explicitly says, get professional legal advice. It's not just like a good idea to avoid problems. It's presented as essential, absolutely essential for structuring things securely and legally from day one.
So, okay, the steps are building. Research the market niche, get expert real estate advice, pick a location aligned with goals, crunch the financial viability, then layer on that critical legal understanding. It's like building blocks.
That's exactly the progression the article seems to lay out.
Right.
Each step adds another necessary layer of info and security.
All right, strategy 6 is a bit different. Feels more active. It brings in a human element. Network and attend property exhibitions. Getting social for your investment. Tell me about that.
Yeah, the article suggests proactively networking. Talking to local real estate pros, maybe other investors you meet, and actually going to property exhibitions or events.
Why, though? What's the benefit?
Well, it can give you valuable contacts, obviously, but also deeper sort of real-time market insights. Things you might not get from just reading reports or even initial chats with an agent. These events are where you might see a whole bunch of opportunities laid out. You can talk directly to developers, different agents, other investors who are actually doing things in the market. You might hear about properties not widely listed or just get a better feel for market sentiment. It's a practical, kind of proactive step. Intelligence gathering and making connections.
So it's like turning the passive research and consultation into actively engaging with the whole market ecosystem.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah. It moves you beyond just taking in information to actually participating in the space where deals get done and, real insights are shared.
Okay. And that brings us to the seventh and final strategy. Feels like the capstone before you actually, make the move. Conduct due diligence, the last crucial check before you sign anything.
Yes. And the article frames this as absolutely non-negotiable. Due diligence means thoroughly checking everything. Verifying ownership is the seller really the owner with the right to sell.
Right.
Checking for any outstanding debts, liens, legal problems tied to the property. And critically, physically inspecting the property's condition yourself or having a professional do it. It's all about protecting your investment from nasty surprises.
The final layer of checking everything.
Exactly. It's the final verification after you found something promising, analyzed the numbers, understood the legal side, maybe got some insights from networking. It pulls everything together for one last critical check on that specific property.
It sounds like due diligence is really where all the previous steps kind of culminate. You apply your research, your professional advice, your legal know-how, your market insights, all to this one specific potential deal.
Precisely. It's the critical final safeguard, making sure the opportunity is what it seems and that there aren't hidden landmines waiting to blow up your investment.
Okay, so we've walked through these 7 points from the Ocean Worldwide article. That luxury agency based in Phuket since 2004, focused on high-end residential in places like Phuket and Koh Samui. We've seen how they structure the process, from that initial deep research right through to the final checks.
Yeah, and if we connect this all back for you, the listener, the article basically provides a clear roadmap. It's almost like a funnel, really.
How do you mean?
Well, it moves you from broad, high-level market understanding and getting expert guidance down through analyzing specific locations and financials, navigating the necessary legal bits, actively engaging via networking, and finally, doing that rigorous check on one target. It takes what could feel overwhelming investing in a foreign luxury market and breaks it down
into manageable steps.
It's exactly manageable, actionable steps. And it really reflects a practical experience you'd expect from an agency like Ocean Worldwide, who've been navigating this exact market, like in Phuket, for 2 decades. It feels designed to help someone move from just being curious to making a well-informed, secure decision.
This deep dive into the Ocean Worldwide article, it definitely gives a solid framework, especially if you are looking at that luxury residential end in places like Phuket or Koh Samui, which is clearly their wheelhouse. But, having broken it all down like this, it does leave us with a final thought to maybe chew on.
Yeah, it raises an interesting question, I think. Given how much the article emphasizes this structured approach, thorough research using professionals, rigorous due diligence, all steps that take time and discipline, how much does finding a genuinely successful investment opportunity in a dynamic market like Thailand ultimately depend less on, say, luck or stumbling onto some amazing hidden gem, and maybe more on just committing to and diligently executing these fundamental practical steps, following the process rigorously?
Something to think about as you consider your own journey into Thai real estate.